It's Monday, October 28th, 2024, and we are 1 week away from the election. Welcome to today's Make It Make Sense mini-episode. I'm Grant Herms. Today on the show, another attempted hack into the Trump and Harris campaigns brings another round of major questions about campaign security and tells us just how active bad foreign actors are when it comes to trying to influence the American election. So on Friday, the FBI, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, which is still a mouthful, and Homeland Security put out a cryptic statement saying that they were, quote, investigating the unauthorized access to commercial telecommunications infrastructure from China, essentially meaning they tried to hack into phones. After that went out, several news agencies began reporting that the hack was targeting the Trump campaign, including the phones of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, along with other people on their campaign staff. The New York Times said the FBI notified the Trump campaign on Monday this past week about the attempted hack, but it wasn't clear if the hackers actually got into any of the phones. A source at the Times also said at least 2 Trump family members were also targets of these cyber attacks. And the Harris campaign was also targeted, according to those sources, but it was unclear whether Harris or Walz were targeted directly like Trump and Vance. Now, in a statement, the Trump campaign said that it was Harris who was, quote, emboldening China and Iran attacking critical American infrastructure to prevent President Trump from returning to the White House. Now, there's no evidence at all that that's true from both from Iran or China, but so far these Chinese attacks have been largely bipartisan. It's actually, I think, one of the very few things right now in American politics that might actually be bipartisan. And when it comes to Iran, the Iranians have been pretty clear that they're targeting Trump, both for his rhetoric about Iran, Muslims, and Iranian influence in that part of the world, and also for killing an Iranian general while he was in office. But there's no evidence that it's being done at the request or even the insinuation of the Harris campaign. And the Justice Department that he so frequently accuses of being weaponized against him is actively investigating this hack, actively warned his campaign about the hack this time and last time, and just indicted 3 Iranian nationals for hacking the Trump campaign over the summer. Now, this election cycle, there has been a lot of brazen work by actors like China, like Iran, and like Russia to talk about them in ascending order of an intensity there, to hack into American campaigns and influence the election. Last month, the Department of Justice indicted 2 staffers for the English-speaking Russian propaganda outlet RT for funneling $10 million of foreign money into right-wing influencers on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and mostly on Elon Musk's X, formerly Twitter, to spew Russian propaganda that was mostly pro-Trump but was occasionally meant to muddy the waters. That scheme reached more than 16 million people on YouTube alone. Russian operators have also been putting up fake videos of ballot tampering or ballots being destroyed, and they've also been making the rounds, mostly again on X, targeting conservatives who largely populate that site now, but they were also found on other social media apps too. And it was revealed this week in the Wall Street Journal that Elon Musk, who is essentially running Trump's ground-level campaign at this point, has routine secret conversations with Vladimir Putin, which, I don't know, is bad. But I'll have more on that later this week. Also this week, Reuters published an exclusive story about how Iranian hackers who had been trying to get mainstream newsrooms to take the bait on a bunch of hacked Trump campaign documents and information from earlier this year have finally found a home on various independent journalist sites and with the political action committee that's run by a Democratic operative, though it's unclear whether any of that information has been used by the Harris campaign or any credible news source. When it comes to what all this means, though, I think it's twofold. First, it's something that we kind of already knew was going on, and I do think some of it's a little cause for relief. Back in April, the director of the FBI said the Chinese attacks on cyber systems here in America were going to be broad and unrelenting, along with continued attacks from Iran and Russia. Now, the bit of relief in that is that our cybersecurity has worked. These foreign actors were caught when they were able to reach private servers and devices in these campaigns, and the DOJ, CISA, and Homeland Security all continue to say that our actual election systems have never been safer. And I want to explain that here because I know it might not seem like it if hackers are getting into campaigns. But first, like I said, those are private phones and servers that are not government accounts and are not protected by government protections. Second, when we think about hacking into elections, a lot of us think about hacking into voting machines, and they're just not connected to the internet in the way that we all connect to the internet. Voting machines generally use encrypted and secure hard lines. They're on their own networks. Older machines might still have Wi-Fi connection abilities, but they aren't used very often, and when they are, they're still on official and secure networks. In some cases, voting machines aren't even connected to the internet at all, and physical flash drives have to be taken by clerks or election workers to wherever those ballots are being counted. And all that means that despite what it might seem like right now, it might seem like the campaigns are playing this little fast and loose with their cybersecurity. There's no real proof of that, even though they have been the targets of these things, and hackers did get into at least one phone on the Trump campaign back over the summer. And while government officials and law enforcement are taking these threats really seriously, they say there's just no real cause for the average voter to be that alarmed. Okay, that is it for today's MIMS Mini. Please rate and review the show on whatever podcast app you're listening to this on. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notification on YouTube so you don't miss out on any new videos. Subscribe to the Make It Make Sense Substack, where I've got bonus content up there. And share the show on social media. It's MIMS News Pod. That's MIMS News Pod, all one word on every platform. I am at Grant Herms on X and at Grant Herms TV on everything else. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm Grant Herms, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.